Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting the like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Not sure what happened there. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Red563 from the relationship subreddit and says, me 24 male with my girlfriend 23 female. Girlfriend has princess syndrome. Throwaway because my main can be connected to my girlfriend's blog. I've been with my girlfriend for about 5 months. We've been casual friends since college, but only began dating after she graduated. We get along really well. When I say princess syndrome, I don't mean that she is spoiled or entitled, because she isn't. Her clothes seem to take over her life. She dresses like a sort of fairy tale princess on a nearly daily basis, excluding at work. Long, frilly skirts, lacy blouses, things like that. It works for her because she is pretty and can pull it off. At first I found it very endearing, but then I became aware of how much time she spends on her outfits. She runs a blog that has a sizable amount of followers, and she is constantly posting out outfit pictures, links to clothing items and whatnot. She spends a few hours a day on her blog at least. Then she spends time sewing items for new outfits or for her Etsy store. When we go out, we get lots of stares at what she's wearing. I've also caught people sneaking pictures of her on their cell phones. This attention makes me uncomfortable. I have asked her to tone it down a bit, but she took that to mean not wearing anything in her hair when we're out together. I've told her several times I love her just the way she is, but she seems to brush it off. I'd hoped when she started a new job in the career of her choice that she'd become more serious, but her new boss and co-workers encourage her. I worry that people won't take her seriously or how kind and intelligent she is. How can I talk to her about dressing more appropriately without hurting her feelings? Now, you'll have to excuse my ignorance on this one. I went straight to Google when I saw the title and saw Princess Syndrome. And I did have a quick browse at some of the signs of having it, which it didn't really seem to match up very well. I might be totally wrong. I need to educate myself a bit more later on that, which I'll have a look for sure. So you'll have to excuse what I say with that in mind. But it just felt like this is just someone who's living the life that the way they want to. It sounds like everyone around her is quite happy. She's happy the way she is. And, it doesn't seem to be having any other negative effects apart from that you disliking it. It sounds like it's connected to a hobby/job in the fact that she blogs about it and it's on Etsy as well, and she's got a good amount of followers that enjoy what she does at the same time. So I'm struggling myself to see the issue here. But the first commenter says, sounds like you have to get over your insecurities. This is her hobby, her interest, and she's getting positive reactions. You shouldn't be trying to change her, especially when it was something that initially drew you to her. Opie says, I guess I'm having trouble seeing clothing as a hobby. I play video games as a hobby, but that doesn't cause strangers to take pictures of me when I'm trying to shop at the supermarket. I get your point that it initially drew me to her because it did. That's fair. I guess I didn't think that it would be such a constant thing in her life, especially after she graduated. Another commenter says, so you love her just the way she is, but you're assuming she'll take that to mean she should change how she is. That doesn't make sense. This is how she is. She enjoys dressing up like this. Shit, she posts outfit photos online because she enjoys it so much. Other people encourage her because they do like how she is. If you don't like the attention, ask her sometime to just go out with you while she's wearing a casual outfit. But keep in mind that she really loves what she's normally wearing. Opie says, this is my problem. How do I ask her to dress more casually around me without her misinterpreting what I mean? Again, and also not hurting her feelings. I can think of ways to say one half of that, but it doesn't work with the other half. And a commenter says, if you love her the way she is, why do you want her to change? Just curious. Opie says, she doesn't need all the frilly stuff. She'd still look like a princess. And it's one thing for an artsy college student to dress alternatively, but she's a 23-year-old woman now. I feel like her clothing masks how smart she is and makes her appear shallow. Then someone says to OP, is it for attention? OP says, I do think it's an attention thing. She says she doesn't care about what people think about her, but she spends so much time on her blog, replying to comments and such. I kind of doubt it. She also has told me that she loves being approached by little girls while she's dressed up, which definitely makes me think it's about attention. She doesn't dress inappropriately by those standards. She is well groomed and doesn't show much skin. Is it appropriate to wear lacy dresses and flower crowns to the supermarket? Again, it attracts unnecessary attention. So Opie comes in with her first update and says, I didn't plan on updating, but things changed. I realized from my last post that I needed to be more supportive, but also communicate on how she could dress down on certain occasions so we could both be comfortable. Well, I never got a chance to talk to her about it. Last week she called and wanted to stop by my apartment after work. When she got there, I offered to make dinner, but she said she couldn't stay and we had a talk. I jokingly asked if she was breaking up with me, and she looked really guilty. You can see where this is going. We talked about how we're in different places in life and had different goals for the future. Well, she talked, but I agreed. It was a pretty amicable breakup. Even though I felt blindsided, we agreed to stay friends. I've never been dumped before and it's fucking awful. I'm having trouble with the whole social media thing post-breakup. I want a way to keep in touch with her, but as soon as her relationship status changed, all these alternative-looking guys have been liking her posts and comments on her pictures. I don't think she's seeing these guys, but it still hurts. My friend wants to set me up on a date, but I don't know if it's a good idea. A couple of the top comments said, Fickle is the head that wears the flowered lace crown. It was never going to work out anyway. You had some laughs and some good times. Enjoy that and move on. Opie says, I understood some of her reasoning. Mainly, I want to move out of the city once my lease is up, and I wanted her to move in with me. I was worried about long distance. She didn't want to leave the city though. She said something about me being controlling too, but I don't think that's the case at all. Someone suggested blocking her. And Opie said we agreed to stay friends, so I don't want to block her. But Opie comes in with her second update, and this update came 9 years later and said, I was going through an old email and found this account again. I was surprised I could still log in, and even more by the amount of people who had reached out to me. It's a bit embarrassing to relive this breakup from almost 10 years ago. In retrospect, it wasn't meant to be, and I think I was reeling more from getting dumped than the loss of the relationship. I'm 33 now, and married to a wonderful woman, 31 female, for 4 years. I learned my lesson about supporting my significant other's hobbies. My wife loves running and baking. We have a daughter who is turning 3 this year. I want her to be free to express herself how she likes, as long as it is safe, of course. I would do anything for them. I'm still friends with my ex on social media. We don't talk, but we all like each other's posts. She is married to another woman now, who also dresses differently. It's not as frilly as she used to dress, but still unusual. Her pictures look like something out of Anne of Green Gables. She seems very happy on their farm together. And the top comment on that one says, can we expect an update in 10 years when your daughter has become a teenager and developed princess syndrome? Also, congratulations on your life. Opie says, well, she does love pink and purple. Dun, dun, dun. A lot of people mentioning that it sounds like Cottagecore. Again, today's a learning day. I'm learning all sorts of new stuff here. I bloody love a learning day, let me tell you. But it says, this is from Google, by the way, from a website called The Spruce. It says Cottagecore is an aesthetic and design style that encourages adopting a simpler and more bucolic lifestyle. Its design characteristics include vintage and handcrafted items such as clothing, candles, furniture, and needlework. And I'll post a couple of pictures like right now of a couple of examples I just found on Google. Hopefully they are correct examples because I ain't got a clue. But like if we first come in and we was talking about princess syndrome, I was expecting like, you know, one of these massive like dresses. You see them walking around in at Disney and stuff. Not this. This just seems like a fairly standard dress, I think. Now, our next story apparently is a pretty famous one, but I haven't seen this one before. But let's get involved. It's called Avengers Assemble. An innocent woman stuffed so she can leave her ex. It starts off, I'm about to have a fun afternoon. So my trainer's boyfriend cheated on her. She broke up with him. He's holding her stuff hostage until she agrees to talk with him, which she refuses. She trains for free, mind you. 3 college linebackers, a college wrestler, 2 martial artists, a bodybuilder, and wait for it, a Navy SEAL. we're gonna go and get her shit for her. This should make for an interesting story. The next update. So everyone who commented on this being like the Avengers, you are absolutely right. That's what all of us had in our heads when we were rolling over to the dude's house, but I'm very proud to say this ended without violence. Arrival. So the super friends all jumped into one of the linebackers Explorer and headed over to the dude's house. Okay, the squad, you all know me. But the other martial artist is a little wiry Aikido guy. The linebackers are all giants, an estimated combined weight of say 750 to 800 pounds. The wrestler looks like an escaped gorilla, and the Navy SEAL looks like your average guy. But something about him is unsettling. Really unsettling. Unfortunately, the bodybuilder had to work. Anyway, we sent the Aikido guy and the wrestler to the door first, and dude answers, screams at them, then slams the door in their face. Then the giant linebackers head over and they ring the doorbell again. Lo and behold, he was much more polite, but still denied access. Finally, me and the SEAL join the fray. I casually make my way towards the front of the group, but the SEAL decides to climb the banister. We all just turned and stared at him completely shocked when the dude answered the door. He looks at this weird mismatched group of relatively threatening individuals, and one guy perched on his banister like Batman. He was like, fine, go take what you're looking for, the retrieval. So we're all walking through the house, gathering what we think are her things and putting them into 2 boxes. Mind you, we are completely guessing. We didn't even tell her we were coming. Therefore, we had no list of items. The only one really being productive was Aikido, who was legitimately looking for stuff. The linebackers were just randomly picking up furniture, turning it over and putting it back down, just showing off how strong they were. In case the numbers game wasn't enough, I guess they were letting him know that they could break him if they wanted to. The SEAL was just shadowing dude in his own house, walking behind him, not saying much, just being creepy. Then there's me, who was causing general mischief. He said to take what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. And the wrestler made a freaking sandwich. Because you guys look like you have it under control, and I'm a sucker for an egg salad. We were in and out in 15 minutes. Delivery. So the Autobots rolled out and headed towards Homegirl's spot. She was conveniently outside when we rolled up. We got out and she was like, how'd you all even know each other? The truth is, we don't. She sent us all an email once and didn't blind copy us all. She vented to us all about dude holding onto her stuff, and we started emailing, and that was that. We told her that we went to see her ex. Oh my god, what did you say to him? Nothing. We're not messenger boys, we're delivery boys, and we gave her boxes of stuff. She went through the first box and said that was most of her stuff. Then she got to my box and asked, what the fuck is all this shit? So I explained that I took all the batteries out of his remote controls, his deodorant, the light bulb out of his master closet, every pair of dress socks that I could find, the laces out of his running shoes, and all the toilet paper in the house. The guys just looked at me and kind of nodded like they were impressed. She then unexpectedly started crying and thanked us. So you have this group of meatheads all standing awkwardly with this weeper trainer. It was quiet for a second when the SEAL was like, so, hopefully I'm going to say it correctly this time, Chipotle, Chipotle, Chipotle. And we all got burrito bowls. What a great day. Top comments on this one says, he took all the batteries, dress socks, toilet paper, the laces from his shoes, and his deodorant. Lol, who does that? Seriously, I need to find me some friends like that. That way, once I start dating, if he ever decides to break my heart, which he better not, I'll know I'll be taken care of in the most hysterical way possible. Well, funny for me at least. Lol, please tell me this story is true. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story with an update, which comes from a throwaway account and says, I, 26 female, realized I have a crush on my roommate, 24 female. We've been living together for more than 2 years now. My ex-boyfriend, 26 male, and I had been high school sweethearts, but we were a long-distance relationship after I moved for work. He confessed that he had started a relationship with another girl, and he dumped me in the middle of the pandemic. I was a mess. My panic attacks started to happen way more frequently. I was barely functioning. I just worked, cried, and slept for 2 whole weeks. She is amazing. She took care of everything around the house. She made me cake. Keep her right there. She helped me through my panic attacks, even though it absolutely destroyed her sleep patterns. I'm doing better now, but I can't bring myself to look at her. I've thanked her a lot, but that is not enough. I'm doing much better, more pills now, but I feel incredibly embarrassed. How can I spend time with someone like her? She's so self-assured, kind, assertive, and brilliant. She's a gorgeous, amazing woman, and I feel so self-conscious just sitting next to her. There is a pit in my stomach whenever we talk now. I don't want to bother her anymore. How can she look at me and not feel a bit of contempt? I don't know if she likes me anymore. I know that she is hurt by this, but we used to spend a lot of time together. Now I make excuses. I feel horrible. How do I deal with and communicate with her that I'm grateful for her help and trying to deal with my feelings of what happened, putting pressure on her to help me? The Gamer Viking says, seems like you need to return the favor. Give her a gift or take her somewhere. Do something nice for her. Opie says, I've done this. I bought a pair of shoes she really wanted. It made her happy. That was one of the better days I had this year. I just feel really awkward hanging out with her. So, we're going to go straight to the update, which says, my roommate has been an angel while I was a barely functioning adult due to my breakup with my boyfriend. She took care of me and helped me deal with my panic attacks. I felt really embarrassed to just hang out with her. I was incredibly nervous, but I posted about this and people gave me some great suggestions. One of the suggestions was to take her out to the park for a walk. She loves the park. Both of us were done with work earlier yesterday. We went to the park together. We just talked and hung out. I felt a lot of embarrassment about exposing my worst, vulnerable moments to her. I really love her company and I've missed this, just hanging out with her. She bought me flowers as a joke and my heart skipped out of my chest. That was a really weird reaction. And while we were eating tacos and she was joking about her job, I realized this kind of felt like a date, and this was the best date ever. I had almost an overwhelming urge to kiss her. We got back to our apartment and I just shut myself into my room and tried to understand all these feelings. I've never felt this way about a girl. I'm scared. I don't know what to do here. Should I just ignore these feelings? We still have a long lease left and I don't want her to be creeped out by me. Some part is telling me to shut up. It would just weird her out. Or become the funny story she tells people, her roommate who she helped out of kindness or pity, and then creeped her out and wanted to be in a relationship. I don't know. I'm scared about ruining our friendship too. 3 months later, Opie comes in with another update and says, my post didn't get a lot of attention, but some people did provide me with really good feedback, and this is a happy update. I decided to keep my feelings to myself and understand if it was just my gratitude and learn about myself in that time. I read a few books and I did some introspection. I've always liked girls. In hindsight, it is pretty obvious why I hated seeing my best friend with her boyfriend. I brushed those feelings aside as jealousy for how good their relationship was. Teenage me was pretty dumb. I also have realized that my roommate was probably asexual. I have known her for a long time and she's not dated one single person, never brought a person home. It made me feel hopeless about my feelings for her. I came out to her about a month ago. I'd left one of my books lying around and she handed it back to me. I made a bad joke. I ended up explaining that I think I'm bi. It was pretty awkward. She told me she was into girls, but she thinks she is demisexual, and it takes her a lot to form the emotional bond needed to be ready to have sex. I probably made a mess of the conversation. I thought there was no way she would form such a bond with me. She ended up asking me out while we were cooking dinner last week. I was pretty surprised, honestly. It is scary and a bit awkward moving from being roommates to girlfriends. Scary as hell, but even with the uncertainty about if we could work, I feel incredibly comfortable around her. I can be myself and I know she won't judge me and she loves it. And there were multiple comments below that one saying, oh my god, they were roommates. I'm not sure what that means. I'm going to need to educate myself. I imagine it's some kind of meme or Friends episode or something like that. What a lovely little story to finish with. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. Nah, you just